Good morning, everybody. Great to see so many people here. My name's Dr. Rob Grundy, and I am chair of Matrix. And this morning I have the pleasure of being joined by Professor Paul Meropoulos, the director of the Advanced Manufacturing Innovation Centre at Queen's. And today we are presenting two reports developed by our respective organisations on the opportunities Northern Ireland has to develop and deploy an advanced future economy powered by clean hydrogen. Whilst initially these reports were developed independently from each other, we felt that a collaborative effort in presenting the findings would provide a wider evidence base for action. Whilst Matrix focused on the long-term potential for hydrogen and the barriers and enablers of developing the sector, Paul and his team looked at Northern Ireland's current capability and the next steps required to kickstart its development. We hope the recommendations from both reports, which you will be presented to later in the presentation, can be put forward together as a viable action plan for policy and infrastructural change to develop the hydrogen economy here in Northern Ireland. We'd like to start by thanking the team at Invest&I for the opportunity to showcase our reports. We'd also like to thank the teams at EY and Frontier Economics, who are here with us today to take us through the reports a little later on. We'll also owe a debt of gratitude to the steering groups and stakeholders from across industry, academia and government, many of whom are in the room today, who provide the valuable insights and expertise without which these reports just wouldn't have been possible. So thank you guys, it's really appreciated, an unprecedented level of engagement. So very, very grateful for that. As I mentioned earlier, I'm presenting our report today as the chair of Matrix. For those who may not know, Matrix is the Northern Ireland Science and Industry panel. It's an industry-led panel convened to advise government and inform academia and industry on the commercial exploitation of research and development and science and technology in Northern Ireland. Although Matrix is serviced by a small secretariat within the Department for the Economy, the panel itself sits outside of the constraints of government, and our role is to provide an unbiased evidence base for future science and technology policy. This is done in several ways, one of which includes a budget for the development of dedicated pieces of research into areas that we believe can make the biggest impact on the Northern Irish economy. Matrix members themselves are drawn from a wide range of specialisms across Northern Ireland's skill base, and the topics of these reports reflect that. Some of our recent reports have focused on areas such as promoting the importance of women in STEM, the development of a creative technology industries in Northern Ireland, and the region's place as a leader in artificial intelligence technologies. Hydrogen was brought to the Matrix panel in March 2021 as a potential focus for a foresight report. And even at this early stage, it was clear that this was not only an area of increasing importance in today's world, but an economic opportunity. Because of this, and even though my expertise lies outside of this area, I'm a life scientist by training and practice, I chose to chair the steering group of the report that Frontier Economics are presenting to you today. And throughout this process, I became more and more convinced of hydrogen's role in Northern Ireland's future energy and economic landscape. Last year, I had the opportunity to attend the COP26 summit in Glasgow, where I was presented with the stark realities of what faces us as a planet. The effects of climate change are clear for us to see, and the phasing out of fossil fuels and move towards alternative green energy sources such as hydrogen continues to become more and more important by the day. Climate change is an existential threat, and changes must be made. However, we recognise that changing our entire approach to energy is a difficult process, and therefore I believe it's important to highlight areas of economic opportunity within this process. I truly believe there are the seeds of opportunity for Northern Ireland to capitalise on this change, should we act quickly. Northern Ireland is a region with a long history of innovation and engineering excellence, a young, highly capable and well-educated workforce. Already, there are hydrogen-powered buses manufactured locally by Wrightbus on the streets of Belfast and across the world. Shortly, there will be a hydrogen-powered zero-emissions ferry service from Belfast to Bangor, a result of incredible innovations developed locally here by Artemis. We have the opportunity to develop, deploy, maintain, and export innovative technologies, create market opportunities, create high-skilled, well-paying jobs, nurture innovation, reduce costs to consumers, and industry and provide a cleaner environment in which to live. Our existing industrial expertise is not only our strength, we benefit from ideal natural conditions for producing cleaner electricity, such as being one of the windiest places in Europe and being surrounded by shallow seabeds. We also have access to such facilities as a modern gas network capable of introducing hydrogen without significant changes, as well as a state-owned public transport sector, both of which could provide an anchor of demand to kickstart the sector in earnest. In the past few months, if the past few months have taught us anything, it is that in order to secure our ambition to be amongst the best of small, advanced economies, even setting aside the environmental concerns, we cannot continue to rely on energy supplies from turbulent regions, resulting in highly fluctuating prices and long and insecure supply chains. Green hydrogen could realistically provide a method of reducing our reliance on these existing supplies by allowing us to heat homes, to fuel transport, and to power industry here in Northern Ireland. To do this, we must build on the enablers we already have and seek to overcome the barriers in front of us. A paradigm shift is required in how we think about energy and break the vicious cycle that exists, engendering confidence to invest in supply, demand, and infrastructure. None of this is without risk, but we are firmly of the belief that not only can we do this, but we must. With the help of our existing industry expertise, buy-in from government, and investment, radical change is possible. I hope the presentations from both Frontier Economics and EY set out our justification for the recommendations we are putting forward, and I look forward to discussing them later in the Q&A session. So now I'll hand over to Paul, who will talk about AMIC and QUB's work with EY. Thank you very much.